All right, we are live for the NASCAR live show. I'm going to wait for just a couple minutes, just go over some other things before I start breaking down the slate, and let's wait for some people to get in here. As always, be sure to just drop your questions if you have any questions in the chat, and I'll be sure to get to them before the end. I'm going to keep it fairly short today. We're coming up on lock here in just less than 2 hours. It's going to be a fun race. It's been, 10 days or so since we're not used to having that much time in between NASCAR races at this point this year. It's been a wild schedule, and we have another wild month coming up with August closing out the regular season. I think there's 7 or 8 races here in August that we finish up the regular season, see who can get inside the top 16. Of course, if you win, you're locked in. So Custer and Austin Dillon kind of stole some spots there a couple weeks ago. Going to be fun run to the end. We got a super speedway to end it at the end of the month. So some of these races are very important for drivers, and if they can get some good finishes strung together in a row at more predictable tracks, even for them, it's going to be big for them. So, as always, I mean, it's just a fun day of NASCAR. We got a lot going on right now over at RotoPros. We got NHL's back, NBA's back, MLB's back, covering all those. Chris's sheets are just killing it. We got Kenny still holding down the fort with MMA, League of Legends. He's on the NBA side of things. He's killing it there. We're ready to get some slates with all the teams playing together, but we're taking what we have right now. So it is what it is. Be sure to join us over there. Join our Slack chat. You can get your free trial at rotopros.com if you head over there. Join us in there. You'll get our skeletons, just our core plays of every slate that we're covering. We started a new thing here this past week, a morning digest. So that's always on the site for free, but it's just telling what slates we're covering, kind of who's covering and what content you can look out for. So let's just go ahead and jump into the slate. We ain't got much time. I know you're probably building lineups as we talk. Casey, I will be posting a skeleton. I might do it while we're here on the show. I was just making sure of who I was going to put in it. I kind of wanted to talk through it one more time before I did it. I know I got a really good core, I think, today. Kind of going with some form from the season and things. So let's go ahead and jump in. New Hampshire, it's a little over a mile, flat track, more like a Phoenix. Martinsville as well is a comp to it, just because of the flat track. My article is up as well, so it has a ton of core plays. I can't link it in here. I actually tried linking it, and I think I have too many characters. So, oh well. Yeah, Chris, wish you were here as well. New Hampshire, it's just going to be a fun track. I mean, we usually see a lot of people lead here. It's kind of hard to pass. You might see I'm leaning toward closer to 3 dominators actually today. Usually I'm on the 2 range, and even in these type of races, unless you get to a Martinsville that has 500 laps, but we have right around 300 today. So I'm going probably leaning more towards 3 dominators in your lineups today. And I think that is kind of hard to do sometimes because you're trying to go and you might want the safety of some of the place differential plays. And I've seen that even myself building lineups today. So it's definitely interesting. I think there is enough value that you can jam in some of the dominators, and a couple of the dominators that I like are priced down from what they usually are, which makes it a little bit easier. I mean, that's my overall strategy for lineup builds. I think there's a couple low owned plays that people aren't on, especially in the place differential category. I think the dominators that I like are going to actually be somewhat chalky, but I think you can really mix and match with the guys in the 6 and 7K range for place differential. So in that 10K and up range, We have 5 guys. One is just a place differential play, Christopher Bale. Again, I'm not really on him when he's priced up like this. I know he definitely has upside. But for me, especially if I'm paying up, I want the dominators, especially in this race with 300 laps. And you usually see it a little more spread out. You usually don't see one person just dominate the entire race. So I'm leaning toward fading Christopher Bale for sure. My favorite 2 are going to be Martin Truex Jr., who has dominated here but hasn't got a win here in the past, and Denny Hamlin right below him, starting second. I don't know if he'll be able to get the lead right off the jump. Almirola he's came around a little bit and had some nice runs, shown the ability to stay out front. So I do think Hamlin can take the lead at some point early in this race. Him and Truex are definitely my favorite 2. I didn't mention we do have a competition caution at lap 30. Could possibly see, I think you will see Hamlin or Almirola lead at least until that point. Could shake up a little bit if we get some strategy or something. As always, it's just kind of a crapshoot with what we've been seeing this year. It changes from race to race, but this is a track that you could see a little bit of strategy. So could be Hamlin taking the strategy to get out front if he needs it or something. So Hamlin and Truex, I really like the Toyota camp today of Joe Gibbs. They've really started to come around a little bit from what they were showing speed-wise earlier in the year. So I like all the Toyotas today. Besides Bell, I don't like Bell, but he's not directly under Joe Gibbs. He's kind of an alliance group in the 95 car. But Truex, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, and Eric Jones are definitely favorite plays of mine. If you go up top, finishing off the top range, you have Blaney and Harvick. Harvick has been really good here. He's won 3 of the last 5 races. I just don't like his form personally right now as far as being able to dominate races. He's kind of he's been fine, but he's not been dominating since. It's been 3 or 4 races from what I'm remembering right off the top of my head. So I'm not paying 11.6 when I like guys better in the mid-10s. Blaney, it's nice to see that they finally gave him the price that he deserves right now with how fast he's been. He's been pretty good here. Nothing spectacular, but 11-1. It's kind of funny to me that they finally priced him up, but they just flip-flopped him and Chase Elliott, it looks like. That was my first reaction to looking at this pricing in this upper range. Chase Elliott, 9,100 when he's used to been upper 10s or 11K and been one of the top few price drivers. And then you have Blaney, who's been back down about where Chase is. So they just completely flip-flop them. So guess what? I'm going to completely flip-flop back because I really like Chase. At that price, Chase and Kyle Busch were the 2 I was talking about earlier, a little bit lower price dominators that I think can definitely be your second, and I think they can even be your third dominator in. You can jam 2 of the top 2 and one of those 2 if you really want to go with a dominator heavy lineup, and I think you can still fill out a lineup that you feel halfway decent about. So in that 9K range, Chase and Kyle are definitely my favorite 2. Kyle just kind of falls into that. He's kind of started to turn things around a little bit. He actually did lead some laps. No, I don't. I do not need a Kyle Busch picture on my wall, Chris. Let's skip that one. I'm gonna get some Truex behind me, maybe, especially after today. So Kyle Busch and Chase are 2 of my favorite dominators. So those are my 4 favorite ones for this week. I think you play 2 to 4 of them. That's my personal what I'm doing in my player pool. Truex is number 1 for me, then Hamlin, and then really it's a toss-up. But if I had to rank them, Kyle Busch 3, Chase 4, just kind of following that Toyota lean for me today. Dropping down into the 8K range, you have Eric Jones. I mentioned him earlier. He's been 3rd, 16th, and 6th last 3 races here. Starts 17th. I think that is a very good value today if you fit him. If you go 2 dominators, I think you can play him. If you go 3, I don't think you can. So it really just depends what kind of lineup build you're going. But I do like Eric Jones for sure. He's shown great upside here. Jimmy Johnson right below him. He's just kind of got unlucky last few races. Another guy I'm going to talk about that's been getting unlucky all year that I'm going back to. So I'm fine with Jimmy Johnson. I'm not sure if in the limited lineups that I'm making today, if he will make it for me. Almirola right below him, like I said, he could be the lower price dominator for you. I think I'm leaning toward not going with Almirola, but he has shown some speed recently, and the ability that if you would have told me this a few races ago, I might not have said he would have been able to hold off Denny Hamlin early in this race, but I do believe there is the chance that he can. DiBenedetto, he's a nice place differential play, similar to Eric Jones for me. He's starting 19th, a couple spots back from him, but he is 600 cheaper. He's shown some upside this year. That top 10 upside is kind of what we're looking for at the price and the starting position. He was 5th here last year in the 95 car. And I mean, he's impressed me pretty well this year in the 21. I like that ride for him. It's kind of a second tier group, and it really allows him to be that underdog guy. So I like DiBenedetto for place differential upside. Not on Bowman. Byron is fine as well, 7,900. I like that price. He's been top 15 both of his races here. He starts 16th. He's another guy that's been kind of getting unlucky as well, but he has shown a little bit more speed the last couple races. He was complaining about that a little bit before that. So he's another fine place differential guy. I'm not really on Kurt Busch. I'm just trying to go over everybody for you. I don't have anybody to bounce anything off of here with Chris. So if you have any questions, be sure to drop them in chat and I'll get going back with you. Kurt Busch, he's fine. Not really on him at starting 10th, but 7,700 is fine for him. He will not make my player pool personally. Matt Kenseth, he is interesting to me. I mentioned him in my article. Starting 21st, 7,600. We've seen this a little bit this year because of how good he was before he retired. Now he's back in the 42. And if you look at his track history, he's been great here. He had a 5-year stretch, 6-year stretch. So his worst finish was 6th. He had 2 wins. He's been really good at New Hampshire on this flat track. 7,600 starting 21st. He did show some upside when he finished top 5 here a couple races ago. So it's just a matter of them putting everything together. And 7,600, and I don't think he's going to be super popular. I'm definitely fine going to Matt Kenseth today. I like him over Tyler Reddick. Starting 13th is a little bit too far forward for me for Reddick. He's shown upside, obviously. I just don't think I'm going to play him starting that far forward. I like him when he's starting back closer to where his teammate is, Austin Dillon. He's a good value option. He's been running well, obviously, recently, picking up the win on some strategy a couple weeks ago. 7,400 for him. He's been pretty good here in the past. 13th in 6 races ago, 16th, 15th, 19th, 21st, and then it looks like he had some trouble last time out here. But 23rd, if you're pushing a top 10 finish for him, I think is his upside. So he's fine. Clint Boyer is a fade for me, starting 6th. Don't like really what I'm seeing out of him recently. John Hunter Nemechek is a great value, starting 36, 7,000. Great value, John Hunter, starting near dead last. I think he can get us a top 20, and that's what we're looking for when we get down in this range in that type of starting spot. I think he can definitely give us a top 20. Let's see if I have any questions. Yep. Yeah, Newman Super Chalk. I don't know. I mean, I really do like Newman down there. Pivots for me, I like Busher over LaJoy this week, even though he's starting a little bit further forward. If you want the ultimate pivot, Ricky Stenhouse, 31st. That's the farthest he started back. I mean, I kind of toyed with it. I think if I was doing a 20 max build today, he would definitely be in it. Obviously, he's either one of those rec or top 15 guys, and that's perfectly fine for GPPs starting 31st. So, Recky Stenthouse, let's fire that up maybe a little bit today. But I mean, that's not a guy that's going to be in my core or anything. But I would definitely sprinkle him in. Let's see. Busher, yeah, I do like Busher, and LaJoy is fine. I just personally do like Busher a little bit more. 2 or 3 dominators today. I'm going, I think, 3. I see both builds that you could do a 2 and then go kind of the mid-range place differentials like Jones or Byron or DiBenedetto. Right in there, you can kind of mix and match those guys, or you can go 3 and then drop into the 7K range. So I see either one. I'm personally leaning towards 3 in my main lineup today. Luke says, Blaney a good play or just go with the other high-priced guys? The thing about Blaney today is if I was doing a 20 max, which I'm not today, I'm sticking to 1 to 3 builds, he would definitely be in it. And the reason over Harvick for me, and the reason for that is I really like his upside just because of how I think he's going to be low on now that he's got priced up. I don't think many people are going to take that shot on him. So including me in a single entry type build, I'm not going to get up to him. So I'm definitely fine with Blaney today. I really like that speed that he's been showing. And he's definitely viable as a pivot to the top guys. I just do like the others a little bit more, like Truex and Hamlin. So back to the value range. I kind of touched on it some. Stenhouse is fine to me. Everybody else in that mid 6K range besides Newman. I mean, Newman, 22nd, he's definitely shown the upside in the past here. This year, I mean, he's been struggling the last few races to show any top 10 upside. So you can definitely pivot down here to, like we said, Busher, or LaJoy or Stenhouse or John Hunter. John Hunter is a great play starting 36. So Newman's not like a lock and load play for me. I'm not sure what his ownership will be. I think he'd probably push 30% at least. That's just my personal opinion, but he is definitely a single entry guy that I'm looking at very hard in my builds this week. And just to finish off the player pool down there below 6K, there's really only 2 guys I think I would even play down here. Ty Dillon and Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece is by far my favorite, and this was the guy I talked about that's been having bad luck all year. Slammed the wall hard, I know, the last race. So starting 30th, I think his ownership is going to be a little bit pressed down from what we're used to seeing when he's priced down here, and what we have seen recent weeks, just kind of people being burned by him. He's still going to be fairly popular, probably 15-20%, somewhere in there. He was 21st here last year. He's been pretty good, I think, at Martinsville in the past on shorter tracks. So I do like Preece is my favorite down here. Hopefully he gets through the entire race. It's been a crazy year luck-wise, I think, for him between the Indy pit road wreck and just some getting caught up in some bad wrecks. So any more questions, be sure to drop them in. That's kind of my thoughts on the player pool. Kind of touched on a lot of the guys in there. If they were GPP only, or I don't play cash games in NASCAR, but like a single entry or mass entry GPP, I kind of distinguish that from each other. Got some fades, got some plays in there. It's definitely going to be an interesting race to see how it unfolds. I think we're going to start to see a lot more strategy from guys that are on the bubble. Let me pull that up while we're looking at it, or while I'm on here, and we'll kind of talk about some of those guys. It makes them a little bit more GPP, uh, gives them some upside, but also some more downside if they're on that bubble and trying to get in. Maybe they'll play some strategy and they could win a race like Austin Dillon, or they could play it and finish 30th. You just never know what's going to happen when that comes about. A lot could be playing for points, but I mean, if they really want to just lock themselves in, they're going to be going for wins. So I think it does. I lean toward the narrative of it gives them a little bit more upside trying to get in. So a little bit more urgency. So it looks like, all right. Projected playoff. Those standings look a little bit weird to me where I pulled those up. So all right. Yeah, so here we got Reddick is on the bubble, 10 points off of Will Byron, who then is on the bubble as far as inside the cut line. Reddick is just outside of the cut line. So obviously, if you win, you're locked in. So the top 10 spots are locked in. And then it goes Almirola is 11th. He looks pretty locked in with where his points are, just like Kyle Busch, just like Kurt Busch. When you get back to Clint Boyer, 14th, is when it kind of starts getting interesting. He has, let's see, he is about 32 points ahead of 16th. He's 42 points ahead of 17th. So he's firmly in it right now, but a couple bad races and he could be on the outside looking in. DiBenedetto, 15th. He's about 20 points inside the cut line as well. Will Byron is right inside. Reddick just on the outside looking in, 10 points off the cut line. Eric Jones is just a couple points behind Reddick, so that's an interesting one. He's been pushing the last few weeks too to try and get in there. And then Jimmy Johnson, not very far behind those guys, about 8 points. So that's going to be something to watch through the end of these last 7 races in this month. So those are the guys that are they're all place differential guys today and most weeks. So that could add a little bit of upside to those guys if you're looking strictly at the standings. Guys like Stenhouse and Kenseth and guys like that are they are probably eliminated unless they win a race. So guys like that are just ultimate GPP plays, and Stenhouse always is anyway, but he's going to take crazy strategy, and try to win. Newman is way off the cut where he missed some races, so he's going to try and probably do some stuff to try to win, and Kenseth is the other guy that has some upside to do that and makes them ultimate GPP plays for me today and through the rest of this month even. So like we mentioned earlier in the chat, be sure to check out my article on RotoPros on the website. I break down every range and talk about more core plays if you missed anything on the video. Be sure to join us. Like I said, I'll be in the chat up until lock, but we got hour and 15 minutes. I'm about to post my skeleton lineup in there, just my core plays for today. Chris already has his posted. Be sure to grab his sheet. Tons of great info, track history. Almost said course history. I'm ready for the PGA next week. Already getting ready for that, and we'll be more tonight. We'll be live Wednesday night as we talk about the PGA Championship. So be sure to join us. We have tons going on. I mentioned all the sports that we're covering over at RotoPros. So be sure to check everything out on the website and in the Slack chat. And we're always open anytime. Kenny, Chris, and I are always in the chat. We might be away, but you can always send us a message and we can get back to you, especially before lock. That's kind of something we pride ourselves on, is being available to everybody and able to answer any questions that you have. So be sure to join us there. any last questions, I'll stick around here for a couple more minutes, see if we have any more questions, and then I'll slide on out of here, and we'll try to take down some tournaments today. One thing I didn't mention, we do have soccer. So EPL concluded last week. We have MLS, kind of the tournament that they started back is winding down. I'm covering that. So we got that going on. We have the Champions League starting back up at the end of this week. It's going to be fun times over there for that. So that's just another thing to add in. And the monthly fee or the annual, whichever you want to do, and the free trial for the few days get you every sport. So it's not like you're just buying one sport or the other. It gets you everything, gets you access to anything that you may need and any resources. So be sure to join us over there. I'm not seeing any more questions. If you do have any that come up before lock, just be sure to shoot them to me on the Slack chat. I'm on Twitter at RedStag007. I think Chris tweeted out on the RotoPros page. So be sure to follow me over there. You can hit me up there as well. So good luck to everybody. Let's take one down and finish off this NASCAR regular season this month. Good luck.